Right, this morning I wanted to talk about job opportunities just teaching English. So, there's a hierarchy in terms of the kinds of people that can teach here. Now, I'm going to start off with the highest rank, the person who's most likely to get the highest wage, the best kind of job. And, overall, you're just going to get the best situation if you fit this category. Number one, you have to be a native English speaker. Now, what does this mean? This means that your mother tongue is English, so you were born and raised speaking English. You kind of know English, but you don't necessarily have to know all the ins and outs of English, but like myself, you naturally speak English, you are naturally fluent, naturally understand what is right and wrong, and you have an accent that fits the area that you're from. So top candidates for this, you're going to be first if you're an Aussie, New Zealander, British, American, Canadian. Top degrees for this are obviously education degrees, English degrees, maybe another language would also be desirable. These kind of people, for Chiang Mai, my context is going to be for Chiang Mai, these kind of people should not be taking jobs any less than 40,000 baht, in my opinion. And that's still quite low, in my opinion. If you hold out and really shop around, you'll be able to get yourself installed within an international school for a much healthier wage than 40,000. If you just take the first job that comes along, you'll probably be looking at 30, and you'll realize that you're way overqualified for that kind of thing. I noticed that a lot of people who are new here do that. They will take a job for 35,000 baht, 30,000 baht, so they can get the work permit, the visa, when if they'd have held on a little bit, they could have got themselves situated in a much higher paying position. They could have got themselves in probably a nicer school, etc. So what I would do is, if you are in this category, you want to be holding on for something that's a bit nicer rather than taking the first thing that comes your way. Okay, category 2 is you're a native speaker, but you don't have a degree, but you have something called a TEFL certificate, Teaching English as a Foreign Language certificate, or you have some previous teaching experience. Now, what are your options here? Now, actually, there is this idea held among certain expats that you can't get a job in an international school as a teacher unless you hold a degree. I'm afraid this is actually wrong. I have personal experience with this. This is second-hand experience, but I know a fella that has 5 years of teaching experience. He came over to Thailand when he was very young. He did not have a degree, and I can tell you that he is currently teaching for around 50,000 baht in an international school in Bangkok, which is quite a good wage for someone who does not have a degree. This could be about £1,000 British, maybe 1,400 US dollars. Now that is a respectable wage, honestly, for someone without the qualifications, etc. But again, he's had to build up to that, and someone with a degree can walk in and get more than that in Bangkok. Within Chiang Mai, it's going to be easier to find a job without a degree, I'd say, because if you've really got a brain for it, if you like teaching, if you can go and bring some creativity into the classroom. Usually in an interview, what you'll do is they'll ask for an example lesson, or they'll ask you to make a video about the lessons that you do, and if you impress them there, they can usually get you a job that way. Now, people would say the argument is that you can't get a work permit this way because you don't have a degree, you don't qualify for the work permit. This is wrong. Previously, I've had a work permit for teaching without a degree. Now, this was 100% legitimate as well. I was teaching in a language school, which is a smaller institute. So I think if a smaller language school can do it, then I'm pretty sure a large international school would be able to get this kind of thing running too. Feel free to correct me in the comments below if you happen to be an expat who really does know his stuff, but I've lived it. So unfortunately, don't be deterred by what some people say about you can't get a job here if you don't have a degree in teaching. It's false. Okay, so category number 3. You are a degree holder, but you are a non-English speaker. And frankly, I am going to be 100% honest here. They want you to be a white person. They want you to be European, or at least look that. Now, as I've mentioned in other videos, the concept of race, nationality and things like this, a Westerner, a Farang, which means white foreigner, typically, means someone from Europe or a European-derived culture, like America, Canada, Australia, etc. And whether or not that's moral or not is beside the case. It's just how it runs here. Now, so say, for example, you are a German speaker, but you are pretty much fluent in English, but you have a German accent. This is going to actually place you below, in a lot of cases, not every case, this is going to place you below someone who is a native speaker, even without a degree, if you are going to teach English. You can get around this by teaching subjects such as maths or science or computer, whatever. And then we're talking a different deal. But if we're just talking about teaching English, this person is going to be the third rank below a person with a certificate or teaching experience who is a native speaker. Again, I don't think this is a good thing personally, but I get it. They want to learn the proper English with the proper accents, whether that's American, Aussie, British or whatever. They want to learn a native speaker's accent. They want someone who has been fully immersed within that language since they were a kid. And, well, there you go. I get it. So, that's category 3. Non-native English speaker, fluent in English, has a degree in whatever field. There you go. You can get a job here, but you're probably looking at a pay cut, or you're looking to hold on and really find a sweet gig for yourself, which you can. They're totally out there. You've just got to know where to look and make your right contacts, etc. Okay, category 4. Now, category 4, I would say, is a native English speaker who has no teaching experience, no degree, and no relevant experience in any way. This guy is someone who just moves over here. He happens to speak English as his native language, and he's looking to get a job. What kind of work are you going to be getting? Well, honestly, I would say it's only going to be language school and small private extracurricular institutes that you are going to be getting work on. And as I mentioned in another video, you will be facing normally a circumstance where you are receiving an hourly wage rather than a salary. What does this mean? This means that you are easily replaced. You might be getting a work permit from this, you might not. If you don't, I highly recommend you don't continue this lifestyle, because you will be running back and forth on tourist visas. I'm going to be making a video about visas, but running back on tourist visas is dangerous. You can get yourself banned from Thailand by teaching when you're on a tourist visa. Do not do that. If you're in category 4, you're a native English speaker, no experience, all this mumbo jumbo, you just want to move over here, get yourself situated, you're going to be looking at around 25,000 baht, and that is optimistic in terms of monthly salary that you can get. It's not a good category to be in. Now, it is a good way to get your foot in the door, so to speak, and you can develop yourself from there. You can do a TEFL certificate within Chiang Mai, Bangkok, or any of these other big cities. But honestly, I think you owe it to the students though, really. And some people don't see it like this, because a lot of people who come over here, they teach as a way to get into Thailand, not teach because they enjoy teaching. But personally, I think you should always try to be the best teacher that you can, because if we're going to talk about influential individuals, parents, teachers, and media icons are the most influential people in the world for children. So if maybe you're not a very good teacher, at least make sure you're a very good person. And yeah, okay. So enough with my moral preaching. Let's look at category 5, which is you're a non-native English speaker. You could be fluent, or maybe your English isn't actually that great. I'll be frank again, maybe you are not white, or maybe you are white, because again, that is the expectations of the market here in Thailand, not my personal opinions on the matter. So we're in this category where you've got no degree, you've no experience, you've no TEFL, you're not a native English speaker. What are your options for teaching English? Well, I can tell you they're very minimal. You might be able to get work like category 4 within a language school teaching on an hourly basis, but I will tell you that the money they will be offering you will be minuscule. You'll be, again, under the 400 baht per hour Tales from Thailand recommendation for the bare minimum that you should ever tutor or teach anyone for. And again, you probably won't be in a legitimate institute. If you are, you've been very lucky, and that's great. Hold on to that opportunity until you can find something else that's going on, or develop yourself from there. You've done well. But if you are in this category, frankly, your options are very, very limited. So watch out for this one. If you are in category 5, it's not good. Options outlook bleak, an 8-ball would say. Okay, thank you very much. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and comment. There I go, shilling again. Check me out on Patreon if you really want to give me some support. And if you want to get in touch, leave me a comment. Or go over to Facebook, send me a message.